ఆ తర్వాత పూజ్య స్వామి భీతిహరానంద మహారాజ్ వారిని మాట్లాడవలసిందిగా కోరుతున్నాను. పూజ్య స్వామీజీ మహాచార్య శ్రీ రామకృష్ణ అనే అంశం మీద మాట్లాడతారు. మైక్ సరి చేయాలి. మహాచార్య శ్రీ రామకృష్ణ.
ఓం సర్వధర్మ స్థాపకస్త్వం సర్వధర్మ స్వరూపకః ఆచార్యాణాం మహాచార్యో రామకృష్ణాయ తే నమః. My pranams to all the Swamijis and namaskars to all the devotees. Actually, I wanted to very much speak in Telugu, but I found for people to difficult to understand my Telugu. So I decided to speak in English. If you understand, I'll be happy. If you don't understand, you'll be happy. So let us all be happy. So, Acharyanam Mahachaarya Ramakrishna te Namah. This is a shloka composed by one of the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Bhitiharananda. Sarvadharma sthapakastvam sarvadharma swarupakaha. When we read the life of Sri Ramakrishna and try to understand, we find Sri Ramakrishna did not establish any new religion. Rather, he encouraged the greatness of every religion, and he found out one truth, that all the religions, they are different methods or paths to reach God. And God is what? Satchidananda Swarupa. God's images are many, but Satchidananda, the Chaitanya Shakti, is the same in all. And to realize that Shakti, Chaitanya Shakti, is the goal of human life. That is God. So Sri Ramakrishna is Sarvadharma Swarupaka and Acharyanam Mahachaarya. Ramakrishna te Namah. Acharyanam Mahachaarya. So he is called Mahachaarya. He is not simple Acharya. So why he has been called Mahachaarya, that we are going to discuss now. Sri Ramakrishna gives an example. One story he tells. Four people are going somewhere, and on the way they find one big wall, and that from other side there was a great sound. Some kind of joyful things are going on, happening, that they understood from that sound. And they wanted to see what is there beyond that wall. So how to go? That wall is very tall. They found one ladder, and they, with the help of ladder, one person got on that wall and found something very interesting, very joyful, and he jumped into it. He could not control himself. What is that joyful thing? Nobody could understand, because he did not come back. So another person went. He also found something joyful, and he jumped in other side of the wall. Third person also went, and he also jumped. Now only fourth person was remaining. He did not know what is behind that wall. So he also jumped, he also climbed that wall, and seeing that joyful thing, he also wanted to jump. But next moment thought came to his mind, that such a joyful thing is there, something is great, interesting is happening. And if I also jump, then nobody will be there to tell the people, other people, what is there beyond the wall. And that person controlled his temptation to jump other side and came back to tell the people what was there on that wall, behind that wall. So this is called sacrifice. And what Sri Ramakrishna wants to convey through this is, our great Rishi Munis, they found out the source of that joy. We all want joy and happiness, and we try to find it in the world, in the worldly things, in our relatives, in our properties, or in our worldly possessions, external things. But source of joy is there within our heart. And that Rishi Muni, our great Vedic rishis, etc., they meditated upon and came back to tell us about that God, about that joy, about that Satchidananda. And that is how Vedas, Upanishads we are getting now. So one such example was Sri Ramakrishna himself. Sri Ramakrishna always used to be in joyful mood. That joy was not depending upon any external thing, but that was he touched or he became one with the Swarupa. And how to become one with that Swarupa, to tell that Sri Ramakrishna lived. This great people, Avatar Purusha, Sri Ramakrishna or Swami Bhitiharananda or Holy Mother Sharda Devi, they first of all, they do not born like us. We are born because of our karmas and because of our desires. But their birth is purely for the good of the world. They don't have any desire. They have only one desire: how we can direct to the world, towards God. That is the only aim of their life. And such people can be described through such shloka: Kulam pavitram janani kritartha, vasundhara punyavati chatena, apara samvit sukha sagaresmin, leenam param brahmani yasya chetaha. That means, when such great people are born, what kind of people? Whose mind is always in Brahman, is always in God. Always they are merged in that happiness of oneness with God. Such people, by those people, where they are born, that family becomes pavitra. That kritakritya, they become dhanya. And that bhumi, where they are born, that vasundhara, that becomes punyavati. That means that becomes very pavitra, very shuddha. So such great people in this country, they have been born. And that is why this is called Pavitra Bhumi. And that is why Swami Vivekananda, when he returned from America, when he was returning, that time the people, they asked, after enjoying these 3.5 years in this foreign countries, when you go back to your country where there is no much modernization, how do you feel? Then Swamiji says, earlier I loved my country, but now my country's, that bhumi is that particle of dust is become like worshipable. That is become that pavitra for me. Whole India, whole Bharat Bhumi is for me God now. So this we find in Sri Ramakrishna's life. Sri Ramakrishna actually was born to teach the world the method to realize God. How we can go to God. And we find in his life so many incidents, that through each incident, how he directed people to God. But he himself did not like anybody addressing him as Guru, Baba, or such things. He never bothered of these such words. He did not like. But through his acts, through his everyday activities, through his speech, he indicated how one should behave or how one should remain in the world. Sri Ramakrishna, his lifespan, when we see, it was only 50 years. And he had to do many works in that small lifespan. So you will find he was Shrutidhara. From childhood, he heard many things about Vedas and Puranas, etc. And that was sufficient for him. He wanted education should be direct. The education, the vidya which teaches about God, that is a real vidya he used to feel. That is why he did not take much interest in the academic education. So that is the first point we have to learn. Not that we should be disinterested in academic education. That is also important. But he said the vidya which makes you earn money, that is no vidya at all. But vidya which makes your character, which makes you realize God, that is a real vidya. And when he was small boy, that time itself, he showed his knowledge, how much he has grasped that knowledge. There were some pandits, they were sitting and not able to come to any conclusion to about one particular question. So much they referred Vedas and Shastras, but they could not come to any conclusion about the answer of that question. So Sri Ramakrishna was small boy. He was listening all the conversation and he came out with the solution. And they were surprised. All pandits were surprised that how such a small boy can answer such a difficult question at that age. Even Sri Ramakrishna's marriage with Sharda Devi also was to teach the people how household or husband and wife should live. There is great respect among each other. There is great love. It's not only physical thing, but it is something divine. Because everybody has to perform, according to our Vedas, 10 Vedic rituals. And marriage is one of the rituals. Marriage is not for enjoyment. Marriage is one of the paths which can lead to God. So Grihastha Dharma, that Brahmacharya, Garahastya, Vanaprastha and Sannyasa, these are all the 4 stages of life, human life. So it is everything is touched, is flavored with divine. And to teach the divinity, these avatari Purush, they take the birth. So through marriage also, Sri Ramakrishna wanted to teach the world how the married person should live in the world. Then comes to worship. How many aspects we can learn, we can see from Sri Ramakrishna's life, and how much we can learn from that. See, generally we go to temple, we offer from flowers, fruits or prasada naivedya, and our worship is over. But Sri Ramakrishna taught how the worship should be. For Sri Ramakrishna, image was living. That was Chaitanyamai, not Mrunmai. He did not bother what material that image is made of, whether clay, stone or something like that. But it was living mother for him, that Kali Mata, divine mother. It was living for him. He saw the actual presence in the mother. So his worship was completely different. There was no formalities in his worship. It was like a child serving mother. Through that also he showed how God should be loved. So once one incident happened, that pujari of that Radhakanta temple in Dakshineshwar, he was carrying the image of Krishna and it fell from his hand and broke. Some leg portion was broke of that image. Now that image, broken image, how it can be worshipped? So there was big discussion among Pandits, scholars, and they told, no, image should be changed and all these things. And that Rani Rasman, who was the owner of that temple, she did not want to change that image. She liked that image very much, but at the same time, that image was broken. So how the broken image can be worshipped? Sri Ramakrishna gave a solution, simple solution. He said to Rani Rasmani, why to change that image? Let us repair and you worship the same image. He said, suppose your son-in-law breaks his leg. Will you change son-in-law? You will get him treated in the hospital. You will repair his leg. So similarly, God should be loved. So actually this method cannot be applied everywhere. But Sri Ramakrishna understood the mind of Rani Rasmani and accordingly advised. Sri Ramakrishna was spiritual guide to all. According to each one's bent of mind, he guided. So different people used to come to him with different difficulties. So he gave the solution, spiritual solution to each one according to the each one's mind, tendency or attitude. So once one lady came to Sri Ramakrishna and expressed her difficulty. Her difficulty was she had her nephew, small boy, and she said, whenever I meditate on God, try to meditate on God, whenever I try to imagine my Ishta Devata, that time this boy comes to my mind because I love him very much, a small boy. Then Sri Ramakrishna, he understood her mind. He did not say, don't think of that boy, think of God. He did not say that. What he said was, you think that boy as baby Krishna and serve him. While feeding him, while bathing that boy, you think, you have thought in mind that you are serving Lord baby Krishna himself. And this solved her problem. So slowly she overcome that thing and she started thinking of God. So that her mind was changed and she progressed in her spiritual life. Even Sri Ramakrishna, when he used to sing in the temple for Divine Mother, it was not simply singing like classical or to show the people so that people can appreciate. It's not like that. He used to feel in his heart, rather those listeners also, that really Divine Mother is living. See, generally we find any temple, though we are standing in front of that image, if Pujari is behaving as if it is a stone image or clay image, then we don't feel the presence of God. But some temples you find Pujari is very devoted. He is absorbed in puja. Then we also feel that presence of God. Similarly, Sri Ramakrishna, when he used to sing for Divine Mother, he used to feel that he is singing for real living mother. And one incident happened. Rani Rasman had come and she was sitting in the temple and she requested Sri Ramakrishna to sing some songs on Divine Mother. Sri Ramakrishna started singing with the tears in his eyes. And Rani Rasmani slowly, her thought changed and her mind was going in litigation, court case, etc. She was thinking. In her hand that Japamala was there. But instead of doing, Japa was going, mind was somewhere in the court case, etc. That time, Sri Ramakrishna understood her mind and he gave one slap on her cheek. Now it was big incident. Rani Rasmani, who was the owner of that entire property, she and one Sri Ramakrishna was an ordinary pujari. So you can imagine the situation. All people came to thrash Sri Ramakrishna. But Rani Rasmani understood something is going to happen. So she stopped all the people. And she said, nothing wrong has happened, please go back. The reason was, by that touch of Sri Ramakrishna, who was Avatar himself, who was God himself, by that touch, her mind was changed and he was concentrated upon Divine Mother. So she forgot all her court cases and her mind was completely absorbed in the Divine Mother. So how our behavior should be in the temple or in front of Lord, that we can understand from Sri Ramakrishna. Then coming to the worldly possessions. So property or sampada, etc., people generally like, everybody wants. But Sri Ramakrishna also here showed that that is not very important. So he, taking the clay and money in hand, mati taka, taka mati, clay is money and money is clay. That means both are equal. So that way he threw in Ganga. He did not disrespect the money or Lakshmi. But what he meant was, that is not very important. That is not aim of the life. That is just the need of the life. How much we need, that much we should have. But we should not give undue importance to that. Because what happens? Mind gets engaged in the worldly possessions and mind becomes diverted from God. That was his point. So what is the aim of life? Sri Ramakrishna again and again tells, Bhagavan love. Realizing God is aim of life. Now realizing God is a big subject. That becomes another lecture. I don't want to go into that because I may honestly receive clappings. Clappings are not always appreciation. It is for stopping also. So, Paramatma, that is our own Swarupa. To become one with the Paramatma is realizing God, in short. And to make that point clear and to stress upon our minds, Sri Ramakrishna appeared to tell again and again. That's why God comes again and again for that purpose only. And such people, they see everywhere God's presence. Atma pammena sarvatra samam pashyati yorjuna. Sukham va yadiva dukkham sayogi paramo mataha. Shri Krishna says in Gita, Atma pammena sarvatra. Those who see God in everybody, everywhere, they are real yogis. And we find in Sri Ramakrishna's plenty of incidents like that. Now, Sri Ramakrishna was guide for sadhakas, no doubt. But he became guide for his even gurus. Bhairavi Brahmani, she came on the command of Divine Mother to teach Sri Ramakrishna about Tantra Vidya. So Sri Ramakrishna learned Tantra Vidya, mastered all the 64 Tantra sadhanas. And then, but he found that Bhairavi Brahmani, she was adept in Bhakti Yoga, Bhakti Marga. But she hated that Nirvikalpa Samadhi, that Advaita Sadhana. Sri Ramakrishna did not like any kind of negative emotions. Because again, any kind of negative emotion will stop going to God. So, in the company of Sri Ramakrishna, her mind was changed and she realized that Advaita Sadhana also is equally important. Similarly, Totapuri, who was adept in Advaita Sadhana but hated Bhakti Marga, he came in contact with Sri Ramakrishna to teach Advaita Sadhana, Vedanta Sadhana. And in the company of Sri Ramakrishna, his mind also changed and he accepted Divine Mother, that Bhakti Marga also. So, Sri Ramakrishna was not only the guide to the spiritual sadhakas, but he was guide. He removed the negative things from his gurus, from his teachers also. So that is why Sri Ramakrishna is called as Acharyana Mahachaarya by Shardananji. So that is why we have to read Sri Ramakrishna, life of Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother Sharda Devi and Swami Vivekananda, so that many such incidents we get and we can get some clue or guidance from those incidents in our lives, in our day-to-day lives. How to talk, how to worship, how to sing bhajans, and all these things we get. So on this auspicious occasion, I pray to Sri Ramakrishna that all the time our mind should be on God so that we can progress spiritually. Thank you all. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.